What is up, guys? Ivan here with getivan.com, and in today's video I am going to be discussing static website hosting benefits, research, discussions, and recommendations. So this is coming from a standpoint of I'm learning about this. I want to take a look at some of the big services for this online and just kind of see what we can discover, bookmark some relevant stuff, and discuss the benefits, and then hopefully make a recommendation based on just an at-a-glance look. Okay, so first of all, I heard about this. I've been involved in marketing stuff and design stuff for more than a few years now, but I'd never heard this phrase static website hosting until I talked with a buddy of mine who has a large number of clients and does hosting for them. And he was talking about some of the pitfalls of hosting WordPress sites, and how server intensive they were, and how he was making a switch to static hosting. And he was talking about this service HardyPress. And if I had, without hearing that term, static hosting, I would have never understood what HardyPress really does. As you can see here, it says zero maintenance serverless WordPress hosting. And then it talks about speed and all this stuff. So that's cool, but you see these claims all the time, so it's really kind of hard to tell, what does it actually do? So from what I understand, now this is from what my buddy has told me, okay, you can set up sites in HardyPress. They are built on WordPress, but then when you go live, it's deployed to a static hosting environment, so static HTML files and I guess static JavaScript or something like that. And when you want to make edits to the site content, you can go in there and you can turn WordPress back on in the server and edit the content. Then it turns it off. So it turns off that hard server environment, right? And then redeploys to a static environment. Now, that's pretty sneaky because the server resources are intensive. Now the hard drive space is minimal in terms of cost, but the server resources, so the CPU and the RAM that's required to run WordPress and the Linux server and stuff like that, that's what really costs, especially when you're working at volume. So and then the static HTML files, they cost pennies every month per asset. So, when you take a look at their plans, you can see even at this level, you can do a whole lot. So it's really cost effective, really interesting, and something I'm looking into doing for clients and certainly private projects in the future here. So I know about that one. I bookmarked them. My buddy told me about them, but I went ahead and I went 20 pages deep in Google and I found all of the most relevant other tabs here. So let's take a look at some of the stuff I found. Hosting.life. Website hosting made simple. One own domain name, free hosting, online website builder published via FTP. This is kind of just some independent person's thing. It's not really well branded. But, okay. So there's databases here. So that's not what we're looking for. Let's X that out. Jekyll, transform your plain text into static websites and blogs. So this is something that you would implement yourself in a server with Ruby, it looks like. No more databases, comment moderation, or pesky updates to install, just your content. So in terms of benefits, what I've been told is obviously static HTML files. It's super fast. And my buddy said that it eliminates security problems. And so that's interesting. I'm not really a hacker myself, so I just installed the security plugin and let it go. But I guess that's a thing. And obviously, as you can see here, it says no more jacking around with databases, and because content is stored that way in your WordPress CMS. Comment moderation, yada yada, and dealing with updates. This was a big one for my friend. He said that dealing with hundreds of updates for clients was just a real pain. Certain things don't auto update, I'm guessing, and all that. And I've also dealt with a lot of ghost in the machine problems. Like one day I'll wake up and I'll have a WordPress build that has some weird jacked up thing or has some weird glitch happen. That has cost me probably hundreds of hours over the years dealing with problems that have come out of nowhere, and you're kind of just like, what happened? Why did this happen? You got to find the plugin that caused some sort of weird cron, or who knows, Static, Markdown, Liquid, HTML, and CSS go in. Static sites come out ready for deployment. Okay. I do like working with Markdown. That's cool. Permalinks, categories, pages, posts, and custom layouts are all first-class citizens here. Okay. Free hosting with GitHub pages. Oh. GitHub pages are powered by Jekyll. Oh, okay. So you can easily deploy your site using GitHub for free, custom domain name and all. Ooh, let's look at this. Your projects hosted directly from your GitHub repository. Push, edit, or just edit, push, and your changes are live. Okay. Well, obviously that's something worth bookmarking. I'm going to bookmark this. And this also GitHub pages. So I'm sure there's some people out there who think, oh yeah, everybody knows this. It's common knowledge. Every time you discover some new cool technology, there's always someone who's got to be like that. But just keep in mind, I've just been doing stuff in WordPress for years and making it work, So I don't get why you don't hear about this stuff more in some of the marketing groups out there, because this is really cool stuff. You save a ton of money doing something like this. 6 reasons why you should go for static website hosting. Let's see what they say. Security. This is D-Zone. There's no intermediary. So the data, for example, the database involved. The threat of code injection is minimal for a static website. Okay. No plugins and dynamic software to host the website. Okay. Static websites are a safe bet compared to dynamic ones when it comes to security, as they don't rely on CMS plugins. Ah, I see. So the plugin vulnerabilities is kind of what they're referring to in particular for, I guess, code injection. And I do have a plugin. I pay like $10 a month for a plugin that works on like 100 sites, and it constantly blocks attacks on weird plugin vectors. APIs and JavaScript are used to handle the dynamic functions of static websites, eliminating the risk of getting hacked. On the other hand, active websites are highly prone to get hacked due to multiple content sources and plugins. A report by WP White Security states that about 70% of WordPress sites are at risk of getting hacked by malicious hackers because of lack of maintenance and upgrading. So I guess over time, hackers are developing solutions for deprecated stuff and things inside of various plugins. Okay. Reliability. You must have occasionally come across an error message saying that the connection could not be established. This primarily occurs because of the database errors. Serving just basic HTML files makes it easier to host them anywhere with ease, like on a CDN. Hence, whenever there'd be an attack on the server, the static website is just redirected to the other closest node, I guess, in the CDN, unlike its dynamic alternative where the website might go down for a few hours. Oh, wow, okay. Speed. The absence of middleman database makes the static site much more speedy and easy to load. A static site is 10 times faster than a dynamic site that is built with a CMS. Oh, that's 10 times. That's quite a claim right there. I'm going to have to put that to the test. That's what HardyPress said. 10 times faster. That must be like a common benchmark or whatever. Another reason for a static website to run faster is that it can be served from the node closest to the browser. According to research by Kissmetrics, of people expect the website to load within 2 seconds, yada, yada, yada. So we all know that all about all that. Hosting and price, we already know that's way cheaper, so that's no question. Scalability. This is definitely a point of interest to me, because if you can get a good, basic HTML template system up and running, then you can build simple sites really quickly. Because even in WordPress, having to jack around, you can clone a site and then go in there and do customizations. But even manual color customizations, if it's on a really simple template, can take hours. Here's a site that I did a couple months ago for my email marketing stuff and things. And all this site is basically this one page. So it's kind of like a landing page. And then it's got this JavaScript for Google Forms. And then it's just got like a basic contact page and then just a few different policy pages and a sitemap. So it's really simple, but WordPress in order for me to run this, I have to have at least like a gig of RAM, and it costs more than it really needs to for something that's basically a landing page, and this is just a plain background color, simple logo image. There's not even a header on this website. There's not even a footer here. This is just a widget. And so if you did something like that in HTML, you could save yourself a lot of time. You could make some really simple, clean looking websites that load really, really quickly and are just not very complicated. Okay, so moving forward. So that was a good article. I didn't even remember opening that one up. That's D-Zone. Some person wrote this. Let's see who this was. Some contributor, Tanya Kumari. I don't know who she is. Classicinformatics.com. But I guess the security point is legitimate because of code injection in plugins and I guess other CMS vulnerabilities that are developed over time. Because I guess the CMS is a pretty big footprint for hacking purposes. And plugins are big footprints. I know that for a fact. And they're fast. Okay, so that was a very useful article. Moving forward, let's close that. Aerobatic, turbocharged static website or web hosting, blazing fast performance, highly tuned, purpose-built CDN. And by the way, my friend told me that HardyPress uses Bunny CDN, if I recall. I think that's what he said. Expand the possibilities of static sites with plugins. Ooh. See how easy it is to develop a site with one of these popular static site generators. Okay. Well, I don't know about some of this stuff. Give your website wings. Excuse me. $15 a month per site. Why would I do that? That's like VPS level hosting right there. Okay. This is run from SSH, I guess. Let's look at these features. Configure plugins in your file to enhance the capability of your static site, redirects, password protection, form submissions, HTTP proxy, custom 404s, just name a few. Okay. So they're static sites, but then they're saying, okay, we've got plugins. So that's interesting. That's not what I'm interested in. I mean, that's interesting, but I'm not interested in that because that's way more expensive. Let's close this. Static site hosting, publishing, and content management for teams. Oh, Static-tastic. Static includes all tools needed by teams to publish their Jekyll and Hugo generated static sites without having to touch code or wait for it to develop. So Hugo, I saw that on the other one. Hugo, static sites. I don't think I bookmarked that, so I want to open that. Go Hugo, the world's fastest framework for building websites. I'm going to bookmark this just because it's been recommended. 300 plus themes. They're still showing that you're building it though in Visual Studio or whatever. I don't want it to be that complicated. I'm spoiled on WordPress. Okay, let's go back to Static and take a look. Easy publishing. But things like publishing new versions, updating content, replacing images are usually only possible when developers are available, or integrating complicated tools. Empowers all team members to collaborate on the management and publishing of Jekyll and Hugo generated sites. So those are the frameworks, but then this is like a content management type of overlay. Okay, content management, contact forms, communication system, redirects, okay. Automatic SSL, nice. Password protection. Let's look at the pricing. This could be useful. Ooh. One site? Why on earth would you do that? Unlimited users, one site, one form. Unlimited users, 5. Oh my god, look at this price. Jeez. That's insane. No, sorry, Static. That's just wild. Why would I pay this much when I can just do WordPress? I can just do WordPress stuff. You know? I guess they're eliminating security issues and faster load speed times and stuff like that. But the number of sites here just not good enough. I guess that this would be useful for really big projects because obviously it's unlimited users. So really big enterprise level collaborative projects on a small number of sites, but each site is just huge, I guess. But I'm still not interested. Okay, serverless static WordPress hosting. Shifter is the WordPress hosting solution that combines static site generation and serverless architecture with the world's most popular CMS. That sounds like Google. Secure WordPress sites are just a few clicks away. Serverless built for use the same WordPress themes, plugins, and tools you know and love without the headaches of hosting or threats from bots and cybervillains. Fully hosted solution, combines static site generation and service. Okay. Lightning speed, one-click start. Clicks away, integrated CDN, outgoing webhooks, deploy to Netlify, send notifications to Slack, or build custom integration on your own. B6, security included, HTTPS included. Okay. One site? One site? Oh, okay. Custom domain, webhooks. One site, though. Why would I do that? I just... Killing me, Shifter. Static site generator and WordPress hosting. All plans and pricing. Free tier. Why is there so much storage? It's a static site. It's supposed to be a static site. I don't get that. You can't do a custom domain on the free tier, so it's useless. It's another heftier solution. So I guess that's like, hey, I want to use WordPress, but I want the security and the speed of a static environment for my big project. So that's still not nearly as good as HardyPress. Neo Cities, create your own free website, unlimited creativity, 0 ads. Social network of websites. Okay. So it's like a Web 2.0 type of service. interest, side topics, like a wannabe Tumblr sort of thing. Always interested in bookmarking a new Web 2.0, so let me just go ahead and, I mean, I've heard of NeoCities, I've never used it. Let's bookmark that. Not really exactly what we're looking for, but maybe there's some sort of bulk option for being able to put it on your own domain and so on and so forth. Okay, DivShot. DivShot has joined the Firebase team at Google. Oh, okay. Firebase static web hosting service. I am aware of Firebase. I have not thought of it in terms of using it as a static hosting solution for like client sites and stuff like that. But that's an interesting idea, because then I guess it's managed in Google Cloud. Maybe you could manage client sites faster that way. Maybe you could set up like a static web hosting service using Firebase. That's an interesting idea for your clients, and then you could just drop that app on a subdomain, because Firebase has user management stuff built in that's really, really cool, convenient, and it's got like these scalability options that are pretty cool. That might be something to look at. One workflow from local development to global deployment. Netlify has everything you need to build fast, modern websites, continuous deployment, serverless functions, etc. I've heard of Netlify. I guess you can. This is one of those options that allows you to do certain things for free. Let me just bookmark this, because I know this is a viable thing. It's all over the place. Let's look at the pricing. Personal projects, hobby sites, experiments, custom domain, instant Git integration, continuous deployment, access to add-ons. Pro developers building pilot projects or small sites, starter features plus concurrent builds, password protected sites, 3 team members included, multiple owners. So, okay, I guess its core stuff is free. And then let's see. Yeah, extra users, that's kind of where they get you. If you want to have like a team in there adding sites and what have you, then you would need to get their more bulk-esque plan, because you could just share a login though. Priority build environment, custom high performance builds, unlimited rollbacks, email notifications, API notifications, global CDN deployments, that's included for free. Instant cache validation. 100 gigs of bandwidth. Okay. 100 gigs of bandwidth across all your sites. So I guess you have that's kind of a lot though for static assets, right? Okay. And you could always make another free account. And so that's an interesting option. It's probably very much self-serve. There's nothing like HardyPress. So with WordPress content management, Forge is the fastest possible way to host your website. To your visitors, every second counts, but website yada yada. Okay, that's why Forge, fastest, simplest, most affordable. Okay. Static website hosting made simple. Sync and publish using Dropbox and GitHub. Okay, that one lets you use Dropbox. That's cool. Forge will create hosted forms with a few lines of code. Okay. Work with Forge from the command line and the Forge CLI. Advanced HT access features with like rewrites and redirects. Okay, that's cool. Webhooks. Okay. One site, 10 sites, unlimited sites for $50. When you sign up, you'll have one site available with a gig per month bandwidth cap. Upgrading to our copper plan lets you create up to 10 sites using your own custom domains with uncapped bandwidth. Oh, this must be space. This must be space edition. Build at 20 cents a gig over 10 gigs threshold. That's an undeniably good deal. That's an undeniably good deal. Okay, that's pretty wild though. 10 sites for 50 bucks. I guess that's 50 bucks a month. That's actually kind of similar to HardyPress, except there's no mention of WordPress here. Global CDN, Turbo.js enabled as JavaScript, I guess. Custom domains, one Hammer license. What's a Hammer license? There's not very much information on this website. Bookmark this though. This is interesting. Let's move on here. What do we have? In Google Cloud. So yeah, any of the cloud providers, Google Cloud, Amazon S3, Microsoft Azure, I'm assuming DigitalOcean, and so on and so forth. You know, you can create, like in Google Cloud, I was looking into this, and apparently they have a guide on this in their docs, but you can create a bucket. There's a section in Google Cloud, I don't want to open it right now, where you can, when you're looking at, what is it called? Just the section on the compute engine, so GCE. When you're looking at GCE compute engine, they have disks in there. Those are for, you know, obviously server chunks or whatever. But then there's a whole other section below storage in the menu, or below the compute section, called storage, and that's where you can create buckets. And so you can apparently host your static assets in that bucket. And I was looking at the projections in there earlier, and it was like 3 cents a month per gig or something like that of storage space. So it's really, really cheap. The problem is the IPs, because at the end of this year, being 2019, I got an email from Google saying that they're going to start charging every month for static IPs. It's something like $3 a month. So that's the catch. You know, you're going to have to be paying for the IP. So if you had 10 websites, it would cost you like $30 a month or whatever. So that's kind of unfortunate. I'm not I have to look more into that, see if there's a way to circumvent that, because it doesn't cost to use ephemeral IPs. And then if the site goes down, well, usually when you turn off like a server, the ephemeral IP, and then turn it back on, the ephemeral, if it's that server is ephemeral, it'll roll over to another IP. So I don't know how that would work with static assets, but that does make me wonder. I mean, I would assume you'd have to have a static IP in order to have the A records, you know, that are not, you know, you can only set your A records to a specific IP. So, oh, here we go. Maybe there's a way to set it so that it doesn't cost extra. I have to stick a pin in that one, figure this out. Really look at these docs. This is, yeah, tutorials, hosting a static website in cloud.google.com/storage/docs/hosting static website. Do I have anything else? Surge.sh. So let me bookmark this. This is a good one. Let me bookmark this, and I want to put this at the top here. And let's look at the Surge, static web publishing for front-end developers, simple single command web publishing, publish HTML, CSS, and JS for free without leaving the command line. So you could do this stuff programmatically with this service. 50 terabytes published. Wow. Where have you been all my life? Blends with your build tool. Scripts. Static site generators. invite your team. There's probably a whole other market on GitHub for this kind of programs. Unlimited publishing, custom domain, basic SSL, unlimited production-ready projects, $30 a month, unlimited projects, unlimited publishing, custom domain, custom SSL, forced to HTTPS. I'm assuming that that's auto. I mean, you could just do certbot, I guess. But that's for Linux. I don't know how it works. Static S. Well, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. We'll see. Cross-origin resource sharing, custom redirects, password protection. That's pretty good. $30 a month for just unlimited everything. I'm a fan of that. Let's bookmark this. This is really cool. Very clean. And one more. Okay, well, let's see what this says. Surge Plus. Because there's probably some generators that, obviously it's just HTML. So you just use HTML generator, do your stuff, and then create your files. I'm curious about the JavaScript, static JavaScript stuff. I guess you could just use a Google Forms. It could be a really convenient way to do JavaScript, and then it's kind of their code. The next one is zit.co, world-class static hosting, all-in-one solution for static and Jamstack deployment for performance-obsessed teams. Should deploy free automatic SSL. That's nice. Production grade. Zero configuration. Works with your web framework. Oh. Power the products for ambitious companies. Ship a modern website. CDN requires no maintenance. All right. Okay. Let's look at what else we have here. Integrations marketplace. That's interesting. Integrate with all these JavaScript frameworks. Let's look at this pricing. Free version, HTTPS enabled custom domains, continuous deployment with GitHub and GitLab, smart CDN, unlimited websites and APIs, serverless functions in Node, JS, Go, and more. All right. All features from free. And then unlimited deployments, unlimited deployment history, 3 team members, 3 concurrent builds. Not familiar with this concurrent build reference here because it says unlimited deployments, so I'm not sure what this means. All features from Pro, email, domain, single sign-on. Oh, okay, sign-on. 99% uptime. Advanced invoice settings, custom SSL certificates. Role-based access control, support. Okay. So if you want to work with people, that's kind of when you need this. This is a good option. There's no content management type of thing. Or I accidentally bookmarked the pricing page. Let me just hit this page here. Let's just go like this. I kind of want to look at GitHub. See it 1 second. Okay, so here's GitHub's best match. Here's React, static hosting for React. These don't have very many stars. We got Trello. Here's Zit right here. It's not very popular. It just seems like not many people really know about this kind of thing. That's what it seems like to me. I didn't know about it for years. Silux is a static website builder in the cloud. Oh, Oh my. Let's see, a basic site for hosting static documents. Okay. Static documentation. A tool to create a static version of a website for hosting on S3. Okay. Simple host for static documentation. Okay. Let's look at most stars here. Static hosting for React there. Self-hosted Node app for discuss, like, drop-in commenting on static websites. Oh, that's quite a mindful there. Simple self-hosted Node app for discuss, like, drop-in commenting. So it's comments on static sites that are built on Node. That's very specific. Single page file explorer that can be hosted on static website. Oh, that's cool. PHP. Proxy TCP connections based on static rules. HTTP host headers. Okay, I don't think that's... Well, unless that's relevant to creating proxies, then that would be interesting. I don't know, though. Okay, Silex is a static website server builder. Okay, I already opened. Did I open that? Yeah, there it is. Jazz Band, dynamic and static host resolving for Django. Maps host names to URL configurations. Django. I don't really want to look into that. CLI tool to convert and manage Jupyter notebook blogs. Proudly host your notebooks, even as a static site. Jupyter notebook blogs. Let's look at that. Jupyter notebook blogs. Jupyter blog. That's hosted on Medium. Let's just look at jupyter.org. Project Jupyter exists to develop open source software, open standards, and services for interactive computing across dozens of programming languages. Next generation notebook interface. Web-based interactive development environment for Jupyter notebooks, code, and data. Jupyter Lab is flexible. Configure and arrange the user interface to support a wide range of workflows in data science, scientific computing, and machine learning. Okay. So that's like data science framework of some kind. Code, equations, visualizations, and narrative text. So with all that, you can create static versions of this stuff. So that's very interesting, but that's not very applicable to what we're looking at it for. Single command static. Okay, so I already saw that one. It says archived. Oh. I guess they offer it as a service now, or I don't know how they're doing that. I thought it was on GitHub. Anyways, let's close this and look at the first one, Silex Labs, static website builder in the cloud. Old site. Guess you could build stuff here though, and then export the files to whatever you want. Okay, they're comparing themselves to some of this, to Jekyll, for example, so that's interesting. So this is basically just like a what you see is what you get editor for static websites that is maybe lighter than having to set up WordPress and jack around with that. Some nice looking templates here. Wonder if this costs anything. Let's bookmark this. This could be a really convenient tool for just like landing pages and such. Where's the catch, though? Where's the... Probably cost something to export those builds. Setting up an offer to support businesses to use Solix as a replacement for their CMS or website builder. Okay. Solix is a great solution for companies who wish to offer a website builder to their customers, either for retention purposes or as an additional service. Solix can generate your infrastructure and your services. Okay, so this is their paid route. They're looking to become an integrated CMS inside of hosting environment, or I guess for bigger projects. But it seems to me like you could probably just use this stuff, export your files, and then just, for client purposes, you could just build stuff in here and then export your files and move on. I have to look a little. I mean, obviously there's lots of HTML generators, but this looks like it could be really convenient for what we're looking at it for. Let me put this up here at the top. So that was interesting. So your Solix. You can get it on desktop. So you can install it on a subdomain of your stuff. Okay, next is Square Mill for S3. It's old. Last commit was a year ago. Written in Ruby. So it might be a little bit more complicated than what I'm interested in. Single page file explorer can be hosted on a static website. Let's take a look. Let's translate this page. Okay, so I guess this is what it looks like. Don't know why that's needed, though. I'm assuming that you can just upload folders anyways. So, anywho, I think that pretty much sums it up. I think that let's look at the bookmarks here and conclude this video. So, what is this? WP2 stat. Oh, those are WordPress plugins. So you can build stuff in WordPress and then export it to, static files. You can kind of just do that manually anyways, if you wanted to do it that way. But my purpose was to look for other environments that might make it more convenient to run lots of sites, landing pages, client assets, and so on and so forth. Some of these at the bottom were the more, developer intensive options, excuse me, like Forge, Surge, Zit, and apparently Jekyll and Hugo are really popular options. Using Gecko with GitHub pages is a popular option, but it's so I could see, obviously HardyPress is still just really just so streamlined. You can build the WordPress asset in their environment, go in there, design it how you want it to be, deploy, and then it turns it off. So they're fast, they're secure, and you can literally just go in and edit these assets apparently willy-nilly, turning them on and off. So just the all-in-one nature of this platform is really, really cool. Definitely something I'm going to be investigating further moving forward. I'm also going to be looking more into hosting an asset with GCP in a storage bucket. Because I think that another really viable option, so to diversify a little bit, would be to use, and so let me see, I should probably put to use this right here, GCP and Silix. I think if you use something like Silix, you can design really simple pages. So it seems like maybe Silix not right. We'll see if they have any hidden costs or any difficulties in the interface, but you can design really simple pages using templates with something like that. And there's probably other static file generation template builders. That would be another video for another time for research purposes. And then just host those things straight onto GCP. Seems like a really convenient thing. But also at the same time, there's some things like, was it Ziad or Surge? Can't remember which one it was. It may have been Ziad. Let's open this one. If you were able to build your files really quickly, then you could just use one of these more robust solutions to I never looked up Jamstack. What is Jamstack? Sounds like some sort of JavaScript stack. Yeah, JavaScript APIs and markup. Oh, I never heard of that. So modern architecture, create fast and secure sites, dynamic apps, JavaScript APIs, pre-rendered markup, served without web servers. Let me bookmark this. Platforms. So this one, if I recall, had everything was basically free, and HTTPS enabled and auto renews, I assume. And then it costs to have team members and stuff like that. Unlimited projects, unlimited deployments. I don't know what the difference between a project and a deployment, so that's kind of suspicious. So we get Surge again. See what the pricing is here. Basic SSL, custom SSL, okay. Unlimited publishing, nice. That's a pretty cool option also, Surge. So if you got something set up where you're able to create those static assets really quickly, whip those websites out, super fast, then you might be able to just use something like Surge to deploy into I guess you could just connect to any kind of npm. So that's Node. Well, I guess you could do something like that inside of Firebase. That's an interesting idea. So I'm just thinking about like what if you could had a template with a really simple site concepts and layouts, and then you're able to just programmatically whip out a really simple site that looks beautiful with some business's logo. And what if you're able to generate those, just tons of those every day, and then just contact the business and say, hey, would you like this website? And then offer some sort of rank and rent option, or not rank and rent, but just site rental option, or just outright sell the site, or I don't know, or just say, hey, we'll also manage updates and do such and such for you for, 15 or 35 bucks a month or whatever, however much you want to charge. This is a really cool idea. I know my buddy's using HardyPress, and it's a sweet deal. Unlimited sites with a pretty decent amount of storage for 20 bucks to 65 bucks a month. Looks like REST APIs included here. What does that mean though? REST APIs, I guess, for HardyPress, or maybe the ability to incorporate other REST APIs. I don't know. 1 year backup included. Okay. Data transfer is pretty big. 2 terabytes a month. Wow. Okay. Pro. So, I mean, that's really, really cool. There's some other ones. There's some other options though. I mean, it looks like there might even be a faster way to deploy. Like once you get something set up, seems like there might be a way to build sites even more quickly, programmatically. Um, so, anyways, that's pretty much it. I appreciate you guys watching. In terms of recommendations, I think HardyPress is a good way to go, obviously. But then I also think it's worthwhile to look into some of the cloud stuff like Google Cloud, GCP, or Amazon S3 or Microsoft Azure. And then I think it's worthwhile looking into surge.sh and also, what was the other one? Zeet combined with Jamstack. There was something called Forge, but that one didn't seem as clean. Let's look at Forge one more time. Dropbox, GitHub. Oh yeah, 50 sites or unlimited sites for $50. Okay. So that could be an option. It really seems to me though like HardyPress, Surge, and Zeet are kind of the more in conjunction with GCP, Amazon S3, Microsoft Azure, and then another thing they mentioned a lot was GitHub Pages and Netlify in terms of hosting environments. So that's all I've got. That's something I'll be looking into more as I discover more and I improve on this static hosting stuff that I'm looking into. Then I'll be sure to do a follow-up video, and those follow-up videos will be linked in the description below this video. So keep your eye out for that. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this and it was helpful to you. And I appreciate your time. I'll catch you later. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.